Hello, everybody. Good morning. I see people already joining, so I think we'll just jump right to it. Uh, I am Mel. My name is Mel Kalfanti. I am a member of the organization Interalia project that is based in Athens, Greece. Me personally, I live in Greece on the island of Crete. And I'm very happy to be part of this festival. I'm very honored for this invitation, because its goal and values just resonate with me and my work. Um, okay. Is this better in terms of my mic?
It's fine for me, Mel. We're getting some thumbs up, so I think you might be okay to continue.
Okay, I will try to speak with my brave voice and hope it's fine for everyone. So I was saying that I live on the island of Crete. A very beautiful place, but one that suffers from uh, the consequences of climate collapse and late stage capitalism. Uh, it's a place in southern Greece that is already suffering from drought and high temperatures. But this is just gotten so much worse since Crete is a major tourist destination, and the needs of the tourist industry are growing on the backs of us local residents and people who live permanently on this island. So for me, this the topic of this festival is just important not only for my work but also for my personal life, and I'm happy to listen to the other sessions, to talk and meet all of you in the way we can, and just find ways to organize together. So I'm just grateful to Heidi and also Joe for the invitation and for having me here today. Sorry. So today I was invited to speak as part of the festival Positively Different Short Film Festival, of which I am the head curator. This is a film festival organized by Interalia, the organization I mentioned in the beginning. And it's a film festival happening, working on the topics of intersectionality, of thinking of how to bring different identities together and to how to understand oppression and systemic violence in a holistic way, one that allows us to connect between different groups and different experiences rather than focusing on single issue topics. This film festival has been going on for the last 7 years. The last edition was just concluded this March, so very recently. We have had films from 90 countries. We have had participants from most of these countries. Like, we actively try to invite participants to join us in Athens and create a space of dialogue and meeting. And it started from just a small idea of bringing amateur filmmakers that are coming from minority groups together so they can use film in order to express their stories, their needs, their ideas. But since the first year it took off, we got so many beautiful films, so many powerful stories that we decided to make it into a larger festival, one that includes both an amateur section, um, and also professional filmmaking. So yes, this was my main, like this is the reason I'm here today. My intention in this session is to first explain the ideas behind this festival, the main analytical framework that we use, that of intersectionality, which is both a theoretical term coming from the field of gender studies, uh, in which I have my background. As also such a recent PhD holder in gender studies and social anthropology. But through the work of this festival, we try to see how this theoretical framework can be applied to our everyday praxis. And this is my intention for today to speak about this praxis, let's say. So just like a few notes, so we are on the same page, everyone here. Intersectionality is a term that aims to speak about the complex and cumulative way in which the effects of multiple forms of discrimination, such as racism, sexism, and classism, but not only. We can also talk about homophobia, transphobia, ableism, and different kinds of discrimination. How these forms of discrimination then combine, overlap, and intersect especially in the experiences of marginalized individuals or groups. For me, this is a notion that's very important and very touching to think, because I come from an experience of discrimination. I grew up as a queer person in Greece, a society that still has a lot of homophobia and transphobia. Um, that makes the lives of queer people very challenging. And of course, it was important for me to organize first in queer groups and in people sharing the same experiences or similar experiences. But I quickly understood that this starting point, my own experience, was a way for me to connect with other discriminated groups and try to think of how one can build alliances between these groups. The term intersectionality was first coined by Kimberly Crenshaw, a lawyer, a woman of color in the US, who tried to argue in court and then like in theory that the experiences of women of color are not just an addition, let's say, like not what comes up if you combine the experience of a white woman and a man of color, but the intersection, the connection between race and gender creates a discrimination that's new altogether, and that we need more complex tools in order to understand them. And soon after Crenshaw, Patricia Hill Collins used the term in order to apply it also to the topics of sexuality and class. So just with this initial work from this very strong theorist, this term, in my understanding, uh, had a life of its own. Uh, in order to use it, like I focus on two distinct, let's say, usages of the word. One is to refer to intersectional identities due to the historical origin of the term. So the identity of a person who carries different the person who carries different uh, identities and how they intersect. So yes, women of color is one example. A disabled queer person is another example. I think you get my point. So the term has a lot to owe to Black feminist theory, um, because this is what pushed and encouraged the white feminists to look at its own biases, uh, to look at its own challenges and just get better, let's say, or at least I hope so. So that's just a small drawing used to explain it very fast what I mean by this term. All of this, and not just this, um, are experiences or characteristics that influence a person's lives. It's access to uh, possibilities, to growth, to opportunities, and in order to understand an identity like in its entirety, uh, we have to think about these different axes, let's say, all the time. In order to make it more clear, or when I work especially with young people in the context of inter alia, I like a few exercises that allows one to understand first of all their own experiences, their own identity, because I strongly believe that without understanding where we come from, we are unable to connect to praxis and to build on that praxis without considering our own identity and starting point. So for me, a simple and useful tool that I've just run through here is called the privilege star. This visualization of the identity of a person. uh, I have noted here some just main characteristics. Yeah, one can easily exchange them with whatever it feels relevant to them. So if we think that a person has this, different characteristics, everyone has a race, everyone has a gender, everyone has a class, and so on and so forth. Uh, I would make my own privilege star by noting on which part of this axis I would say that my identity stands. And the closer it is to the center, the less privileged I feel I am on this axis, whereas the more privileged I am, is the opposite. So, in terms of race, I am a white person living in a white dominated society. I would put this even to the edge of the axis, but just coming from Southern Europe, coming having a darker skin, uh, makes me deal with just very mild discrimination in terms of race when I go, especially to Northern and Western Europe, uh, where people from Greece and from Southern Europe are often discriminated against us, mainly because of their status as economic migrants to this in these places. Uh, the gender, I am a trans person in a cis-dominated transphobic society. I'm going through my transition just right now, and this means that I feel that I experience a lot of discrimination uh, um, for this characteristic. Um, Geographic location, this has changed for me over the years, so this is also something that's a dynamic. It's not like we make it once and for all. So now I live on the island of Crete, as I mentioned before. This means that living away from the main metropole, the capital of Athens, hinders my access to many opportunities, as all the educational, cultural, and such activities are centered in the city of Athens. But on the other hand, I think I'm privileged to be able to have access to nature more easily, to a cleaner environment, to be away from intense noise pollution. So this is just a way to visualize this, like this complicated relation to geographic location. I think it's pretty clear my point. I will not tire you with all the details. It's obvious that this is a personal activity. There's no one that can tell you chose the right or the wrong spot on the axis to understand your experience. But the reason that we try to use this is especially in order to consider the axis in which we are more privileged. So, for me as a trans person, I often think about gender and sexuality because it's a discrimination I face all the time. But as I'm white, this identity is often, invisible. I think just I understand as the norm. I do not consider my privileges regarding that. So this is why the activity is called privilege are in order to also focus on those aspects. And just by connecting these dots and coloring, we just make uh, the our area of privilege. This is just a small tool that I thought I'd share. That is the first starting point that I use in order to work with young people and explain this term. So apart from intersectional identities, the second use of the term is more connected to what we're doing in our film festival, is the part of intersectional activism, advocacy, and struggle. So this is why we use this term in order to try to argue for the importance of building alliances between minority groups, of understanding that the discrimination I face is connected to the discrimination that the person next to me faces, and just to show that for me it's just um very hard to understand why among minority groups there can be also cases of discrimination coming out. Like there can be queer people that are racist, uh, and I'm more happy to talk about that because it's the identity I inhabit, rather than talking about the possibility that I don't know there's instances of homophobia, let's say, in people of color. So by focusing on our connecting points and our alliances, I think we have a lot of power. I think this is a term that is very, very powerful, and for me, it's just the way forward that makes sense because in the situation we're living in that may be different in our respective countries, but also uh, it's connected in many ways. I don't know, the rise of fascism, especially in Europe and in the US, is an ongoing phenomenon that I'm afraid I don't know where it stops. Um, a lot of rights that were taken for granted are violently taken back. So I think now is the time to think about how we can work together. And this is why I wanted to share my thoughts and my experiences regarding this topic. Um, so it's important to remember that I'm here to talk on behalf of our film festival. So no other way to do that better than with a medium of film. In our film festival, we as we have short films, we often have short films that talk about maybe one singular identity. So a portrait of a queer person or the story of a migrant, let's say, but by connecting these films, by curating these films in such a way that we create sets of screenings that we will not ever screen a set that just focuses on migration or just a set that focuses on physical or mental ability. We will create sets that have films from that speak about different identities. So even with the curation of the program, we try to focus on intersectionality on this main analytical framework. As today the session is quite short, I don't have the possibility to show you many of these films, but I just chose three that I like from the last couple of years of our film festival. One is an animation, one is a documentary, and one's a fiction. So I even in this choice, I try to go as broad as possible, let's say, and show you the different kinds of films that we can work with. There are films that talk about very different identities. So in their connections, I think you will understand a little bit of my point. So I'll just go right to it. I will play the films, and then the end there's gonna be like say like 5 to 10 minutes to maybe hear your questions or any thoughts you have regarding what I said today or the festival in general. And that's all. Uh, Thank you for your attention. Um, I will just leave this here until I set up my screening. So you can just uh, get to know more about this topic through other materials that we have available. I will stop sharing this screen. Okay, guys, I hope that you managed to watch. These technical issues are always a problem. Uh, or at least I hope you managed like to get the main point. I did see the questions, like the thought provocations, let's say, but I didn't want to engage in this discussion while the films were playing in order to be able to focus on the films. I think now is close to the time that we have to conclude the session, actually. Uh, but I can hang out, or the organizers can jump in and tell us if we can keep it for 5 minutes. I don't know if it will conclude automatically or what. I'm happy to hang out a bit.
Thank you very much, Mel, and thank you all the participants. We are so glad to see you here. And Mel, you said that you'd be willing to go to the open space, and
Yeah, sure.
perhaps you could all hang out there. Can you, Joe can probably show you the way. Share the link. If there's, or
Okay.
actually, I can just say that it's a hangout space. You can see it on the main menu. And head out there. And Joe, if you're willing, you can keep the session open for a few more minutes so that Mel can answer the questions in the chat. But after that, please head out to the Hangout space and continue the conversation there and share your contact details if you feel comfortable so that you can stay in touch and discuss these issues. On my part, I thank you very much. And Mel, you take over.
Thank you, Heidi. That's great. Um, So yeah, these questions that we received, I don't think they are questions that are to be answered in a 5 minute time frame, but I'm happy to share my thoughts. The first question was, how does our speaker see intersectionality with regard to global climate problems and colonialism? This is a good provocation for me to say that I think a problem with the term intersectionality is that it's very easily co-opted by liberal ideologies, and like you can see, I don't know, in global um, uh, modern capitalist systems. For example, in Google, one of the biggest and most horrendous corporations that exist in this day, you can see a checklist or like this diversity quota in order to hire to hire people from with discrimination experiences. Um, or that I think that intersectionality is easily viewed as a checklist of things that we have to think about in order to be quote unquote woke or to just sound good. I think that's a problem for me. Intersectionality is a way to understand the byproducts of colonialism, is a way to situate our own identities in the context of the global climate problems. I don't think it's a solution for everything. I don't think it's just an all-powerful tool. I think it's just a tool to understand our experiences and use them as a starting point in order to connect with others and to understand that many forms of discrimination stem or originate from systemic violence, and this systemic violence will not be undone by single-use approaches. This is my own opinion and my own experience. Um, in terms of the second question, let me find it here. How do we deal with the mudslinging that create polarization and hatred so no rational discussion can occur? I am I am afraid I wish I knew. You know, I wish I had an easy answer to that. I really do wish I knew. Um, I think that understanding, like focusing on connection and on shared troubles rather than individual experiences. I think this is a way by talking uh, about systemic violence, about systemic oppression, about the systems that produce these discriminations that we face. Uh, we will understand that these systems are interconnected, and in order to handle them, we need to be interconnected as well. And just as that's an easy way, not an easy way, but the only way to avoid this polarization that is encouraged by the systems of domination. That is, it works. Like if we, with people of I don't know, our class, people of that are not in the dominant positions of society, are fighting against each other, are encouraging hatred against each other. We are unable to organize. We are unable to stand together and to bring down all the systemic oppression that we face. So just by understanding that this is what works for the system, let's say in a very simplistic way, uh, we we can be encouraged to battle it. There's just a few very fast thoughts I can share. But I'm happy to hear your thoughts and to meet you in the open space in the rest of the sessions throughout the day. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And yes, thank you for Joe for being here and making sure the tech works. Uh, and see you in the rest of the sessions. Okay,
Thank you.
goodbye.